Hello there, Ray here, and we got 3 new mobs which could potentially make their way into Minecraft. Today we'll be looking at the Sniffer and what it would actually offer if it made it in. Many of you guys think the Sniffer has the most potential. I'll be using my over 13 years of experience in Minecraft to find potential secrets that this mob holds. We know the Sniffer mob is originally found underneath the water because of this.
Tiny Agnes, did you teach chickens how to lay eggs underwater?
Not yet.
And we can see the Jeb character is actually in scuba gear, just coming from this water over here. And if we look closely, we can see there is a ocean runes here. And we get further confirmation that comes from the loot from underwater runes. In this segment here in the first video about the mob boat.
All the chests in the underwater ruins are filled with eggs. Eggs!
Underwater runes, also known as ocean runes, have chests with a variety of loot. And if this mob made it in, one of the new loots would be this egg. This would give a better reason to go out and check out underwater runes to find these eggs. The Jeb character then places down the egg and they examine it. Notice that he does place it between 2 blocks, but most likely you place this down very similar to like a turtle egg, and it would just sit on top of a single block. As these videos are cinematic art, and not everything shown in them is Minecraft related, such as like their snorkeling gear. The egg itself is quite large. As you can see, if these were like Minecraft characters, which would be like 2 blocks tall, which they are about, if we measure them up against these 2 blocks over here, slightly over 1 block tall. So most likely it would be quite large like the dragon egg, which almost takes up an entire block. But there's always potential that they make it actually slightly larger than a block, kind of like we see in beds or like in fences. But unlike other big eggs like the dragon egg, this egg actually hatches. As you can see, the shell breaks off of it, with the shell being a maroon and cyan color. And maybe just like how the turtle drops off the scoots when it grows up, maybe when this creature pops off its egg, the little eggshells can be used to craft something, such as like a new potion. And the critter that hatches out of it is also maroon and cyan. Actually looks very similar to warped Nelium, with a grassy top as well as the reddish netherrack bottom. But when the little critter stands up, there's something definitely different about this guy. He has a total of 6 legs, so he has 3 legs on one side. Now we do have other mobs in Minecraft such as like bees and silverfish, which also have 6 legs. But this is the first non-insect mob, which gives it a quite unique look.
They look ancient.
These are sniffer eggs. I thought they were extinct.
The Sniffer also turns out to be an ancient mob that was thought to be extinct. We've seen similar things like this in paleontology throughout the years, where we thought something was extinct and then we later found that it still exists. Now the first thing people might think when they think of ancient animals in real life is like dinosaurs, but there's actually way more creatures throughout the years that went extinct that aren't dinosaurs. As you can imagine, every creature that you see today, there was also a version of that in the past, and the majority of those are no longer around. But this creature has 6 legs. Now as an amateur paleontologist myself, I always wonder why animals had 4 legs and not like 6 legs. And there's a lot of interesting information behind that. Now we don't actually have any 6-legged things in real life that we could kind of refer this thing to.
What kind of chicken is that?
Oh, they aren't birds at all.
But this little creature has other characteristics that are similar to real life creatures, such as like its bill or beak-like mouth, which makes you think of like a platypus. This creature kind of has like a shell-like feature, which makes you also think of like echidna. Both these creatures come from Australia and also have the unusualness of laying eggs despite them being mammals. And the Sniffer critter we have in Minecraft also comes from an egg. Echidnas in real life will kind of burrow their lower half down in the ground, only exposing their top spiky side as a way to protect themselves. Where this critter might kind of hide down in the ground and only his like top green lush part might be exposed as a kind of way to camouflage. But we can see that this camouflage on top isn't the same green as like our grass today. Maybe because it was such an ancient critter, back in the day this coloring would work very well. Maybe this was the color of the grass at that time. But the coolest property of the Sniffer is that it can actually go out and is a lover of plants and can dig in the ground and find seeds. So the Sniffer mob gets its name from sniffing up seeds, which is probably why it has this prominent nose that is well protected for digging.
They loved plants and found seeds by sniffing the ground in the most adorable way.
Now they show the little guy digging with his nose, but not actually removing any blocks. This might be very similar to like the turtles kind of producing digging particles when they lay their eggs. And this indicates that these new seeds can actually be planted for some new different types of plants. Them sniffing the ground for seeds is something we actually see in real life animals, but most of the time animals would just eat the seeds. But we also see animals in real life doing any type of digging, which would actually redisperse seeds and allow them to grow. In this case, the mob is going to be able to find seeds, probably a wide variety, including potentially new ones. And there's indication that these seeds that they find are going to be related to something about their ancient past. And if the players go ahead and plant these seeds, we'll get some new plants in the game That'll help us reconstruct the past flora that these creatures used to live in.
And maybe even get some new plants.
The Agnes character says that we could potentially get some new plants, meaning more than one kind. Once she plants it into the ground, we also get this little viney looking plant, which is in a question mark shape. Though we already do have vines in the game, and quite a variety of them. It'll be interesting to see what new plant comes with these creatures. Once again, this plant is also being planted in between two blocks and grows between two of them, which isn't something we see in the game of Minecraft. If we do get a new plant, it's likely to be a bit different than what we already have, just to emphasize the ancientness of this plant's history, similar to these creatures, just being quite odd looking. Now in the past there was some quite unusual things that lived, like in real life mushrooms that grew to the size of trees. Now there's a lot of references to this in real life, where there's quite a few plants that are around today that are thought to be able to reproduce more easily with the help of creatures that no longer exist today, such as certain melon plants are thought to be eaten up by large land animals, and by them eating up the fruit and then dispersing the seeds, it would be able to spread. And I think they're trying to show the same type of thing going on in Minecraft, where this ancient animal roots up the seeds, allowing for these old seeds to reproduce once again. For people that like to do building, new plants of any type are really exciting. For people that like to collect rares, like going down, looting chests, and finding an ancient sniffer egg would be quite exciting. And during the scene, we also noticed that this little creature isn't its actual size. With a bigger one coming in from the right side of the screen, it looks just like it, but just much bigger. It appears to be at least like 2 blocks tall and like 3 or 4 blocks long. So it seems that this little guy is going to grow up to be the big guy, and most likely be considered a passive mob. It'll be interesting to see if you can actually breed these to get more of them, or since they're considered like an ancient mob, it might be much more difficult to breed them. You probably have to take the seed that they have, plant it, grow it up, whatever old ancient fruit is on this thing, use that to breed them. Because in real life, it's really hard to bring back animals that are almost extinct. This is because everything that they depended on is also in decline along with them.
I bet we can help them thrive in the overworld once again.
Now these guys do seem like a giant turtle. We already do get turtles in the game, but these are land-based guys, so they'd be probably more like a tortoise. You also notice that with this bigger one, this little thing that's sitting in the backside of its head, which almost looks like a jaw on the smaller one, looks more like an ear on the bigger one. It even has this like mossy green stuff hanging at the bottom of the ear, where we don't really see that on the little one. They also have this kind of woolly effect on their body as well as on their back, so maybe you could actually shear them similar to a sheep and it would grow it back. So with this new plant, it's potential for a new farm, where you could try to farm up whatever this plant provides, if it's just seeds or actually fruit. Now this is pretty cool, but do we actually need more seeds and plants? I mean, we could always do with more, but it already seems like we have a lot of different types of flowers and vegetation, and even more seeds, which would be taking up more room. So if the plant does produce a new type of fruit, it's unlikely that the player could eat it, and if so, we already have so many foods in the game, and no one really uses most of them as a food source for the player. And you could potentially also try to farm these creatures by breeding them up to get more of them. It's unlikely killing these will actually produce anything, because more recently, Mojang has been trying to make it so that mobs don't give useful loots when killed, and this is most likely done to prevent people in real life from thinking killing animals could produce products, such as like killing a cow in real life would produce like leather. As one example is like the turtles in Minecraft, when you kill them, you don't actually get turtle shells. You get the turtle shell, you actually have to wait for the turtle to grow up. Now with them adding sniffers as an option, does this mean that archaeology is coming soon? Because archaeology is very similar to paleontology, because archaeology is about uncovering stuff about humans in the past, where paleontology is about discovering things about animals from the past. But it's possible that these mobs might drop some XP rather than no XP. I know a lot of people would probably like to be able to tame this mob and have it as a pet, but it's unlikely for that to occur just because of its ancient past. With everything that comes with the sniffer, we're most likely not to see anything that would add to redstone or automation. We get a bit more confirmation about this mob from the post that also came along with the video, saying that they were a once extinct mob and the player can help them thrive once more. They mentioned they can be found in the underwater rune chest as sniffer eggs, and by bringing them to the surface you can help them hatch. They also call them gentle giants, and that they're known for their horticultural skills, and they're the only ones that are able to find the ancient seeds, which would produce new, unique plants. This mob entails a lot of different characteristics that Microsoft is trying to instill onto their in-real-life players, such as protecting species that are almost going extinct, and understanding how if a species gets removed, it's going to affect other things in the environment. Of all the different things that the sniffer is offering or could offer, what are the top 3 reasons you would vote for the sniffer? Now check out this playlist about other secrets about 1.20, or this playlist where I'm designing an automatic farm to get you every single item in the game of Minecraft. Sorry for the delay on this video, as I just got back from TwitchCon where I met many amazing people, including Dream himself. So make sure to follow me on Twitter for more in real life updates. I'm really excited for 1.20 and I hope you guys are as well. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.